Many years after the genocide, whoa, yet another great leader has risen up now. Oh, and it's leading the Biafrans to victory. Madika, Yabika, Papa, no. Hey, I'm not killing my future one more. It's an honor to have you on board. Wanna sing along. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu. It's another Savior. Sing along. Holy, 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 Nnamdi Kanu. It's another Savior. Wanna sing along. Holy, 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 holy. Nnamdi Kanu is another Savior. Another Savior.
Holy, 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 another Savior.
Another Savior.
Holy, 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 another Savior.
Well, this is Mobien. This is dedicated to the gallant heroes of the Nigerian Biafra War and IPF families all over the world. I remember the Nigerian Biafra War, in the thickness of the Biafra genocide. Hey, one man revived the vanishing hope to life. Let the great Biafra army to fight, and they were singing out, holy, holy, holy.
Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are. We are welcoming you to another exciting edition of Radio Biafra presentation. Due to technical reasons, we are not able to render our national anthem, but I do hope that before the conclusion of our broadcast this evening, we should be able to play it. Therefore, I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some of you, regardless of where you are domiciled. And as I did promise you, today is going to be an extraordinary session of our live presentation. Please, if you are not close to a listening device, I will suggest you try and get close to one. Inform your friends, your family, your neighbors, those who are gathered around you, that they too may participate in this very wonderful program this evening. We have the prophetess with us all the way from New York, and I'll be bringing her in very shortly. But before then, as always, we are going to hand over our proceedings to the Most High. But before then, as always, we are going to hand over our proceedings to the Most High to
and ebe ọ bụla iji apụrụ ama apụtakwa stand on truth nye ụmụnne m biko na ọ dịkpara enyemaka nnu ga-enye biko na gbatakwara na ya ọsọ enyemaka maka ike agwụla m nye na-agụzi m ndị na onwe m ụwa ọnwụ leta jumi na ọrụ ahụ dị mme nwụrụ ma ụmụnne m dutere m ije adị furi laa ebe ọ bụla m nọgodila taa ama adị hapịrị ụmụnne m dutere m ije lara ọwụrụ m wee bịara mee ihe abịara ime ihe onye nwụrụ ama adị hapi mana nye ewu ụmụnne m dutere m ịlụ nwaanyị ọmụnwa lụrụ nwaanyị ọmụnwa jere menye nwunye m ọrụrụ mme nwụrụ n'ọnwụ ụmụnne m niile nwụrụ nye aga m adị hapịrị ọmme nwụrụ ụmụnne m alaala ndụ dara na ụmụnne m dutere m ije no one come back adịrọ m happy kemgbe Sọnde enwebe ihe riri enwebe ya bara m ọnụ ana m eche echiche ụmụnne m oge aka ọbụla nnu ga-enye for justice to come out biko nyere na ahịhịa biko ni Imo steeti Nigeria biko na ebe ọbụla nnu uche gbatara na ya ọsọ enyemaka atagbuole m onwe m n'afụfụ kemgbe Sọnde nye agbara me ndị ebube aga alarala m my destiny ha alarala m my joy ha alarala m my happiness since Sunday enwezi m hope I don't have any other hope including ebe ọgọ nwoke m gara menye the damage every thing ha gbara ya ọkụ nwoke nọ on stroke up to 86 years m gara n'ọnwụ ya nwoke since Sunday enwezi otu mkpụrụ akpa nwoke yi n'ahụ nye nwoke ma kemgbe Sunday wa ọgọdọ nye every damage every properties every thing m zụrụ azụ nji mere nwoke nye na ndị obodo ha ajọsụ west aya gbaa ya ọkụ gbaa ụlọ nwoke mmadụ ọkụ ụwachi every damage buo moto niile n'ebe ahụ meshin ụmụnne m niile jiri bụ ije ihe ncha niile ka e burula ụmụnne m onye ka a gbawuru amaghị aka na akpa machiri ego o jiri akpa machiri foonu ya yishiri ya necklace biko ni ọ dị enyemaka nnu ga-enyere anyị nna enyere anyị ebe egidere m enwezi m hope ike agwụla m biko ni omie nchọrọ biko ni.
Africa's politics have fallen into the hands of elites, as the Nigerians would call them. These are a class of people who are pure business politicians, and business and politics go together in Africa. You cannot stand as a poor man. I came across a wonderful example the other day from Kenya, where a man who cycled around on a bicycle was trying to get himself elected, and the people just laughed at him and they say, "You've only got a bicycle, what can you do for us? We need a big man with a big car with money. That's the politician we need to." So there's this mentality which I think has allowed a very small group of people to take over those countries politically but also economically, and that's why you have something like, I think the World Bank says, between 60 and 70% of Africa's capital shifted out of the continent. It's in banks in Europe and Asia and maybe America as well. But these people just do what the colonialists did, which was suck the wealth out and shift it overseas. And until that changes, that is, until there's a new generation or even a revolution that actually takes power back to African people, I think those problems, that lack of development, will continue.
ụmụnne m ana m ekene onye ọbụla n'ụbọchị taa. Ọ na-abụ ogorogoro ụbọchị one ma one onwe ka o si dị, anyị abịakwa ka anyị tinye okwu ọnụ. Nke bụ eziokwu na a na-ekwu n'okwu sị na Igbo ada agba ọsọ mmiri ma ọ na-ozuro ha arụ. Ọkwụnụ fere ife a na-emenụ, anyị etibe na mkpu, agbanwe egwu, agbanwe ọnọdụ. Anyị etiwe na mkpu maka nwanne anyị nwoke Peter Obi ka ọ ghara abụ na nwanne anyị nọ n'iru, anyị nwa na ọ na-azụ. Ọ dịka ife ndị ọzọ na-ezube, ọ dịka ọnụ a na-akọ anyị mana nke bụ eziokwu na achọrọ m ịgwa unu ife mmụọ m na-agwa m maka egwu na-atụ m. Enwe ife m na-afụ mgbe ọbụla ndị ugwu a gbara nkịtị, ịma na enwere undertone, political undertone. Iji maatụ ka m bidogoro ife gbasara na ụmụnne ochie Iso ochie ebe a kwara nwanne anyị nwaanyị late Sister Osinachi. Ọkwa unu fụrụ ndị a tọrọ ebe ahụ n'ụdị na ndị ọrụ nchekwa with their intelligence gathering na ha enwere ike ịma na ya enwe traffic ọ na ya enwe such attempt. Mana nke a dịrị ọzọ, unu nụ Reverend Father agbagbu na Edo State. Ọkwa unu nụkwa ndị agbara na Kaduna, Maranatha Catholic Church na Kaduna. Ọkwa ka agbachara ndị nke agbara n'Owo na Ondo State wee ruo tata enwebere ofu onye eji aka, enwebere onye nwude. Achọrọ m igwu unu nke bụ eziokwu. Ọ bụrụ na ịfụ anụ ndọgbu ife dịka wolves, efu ya ebe ọ nọ n'ụmị, iwee chọọ ka ịzọpụta ya, ị naghị na-azọpụta ya ebe ahụ, ịgbaba ọsọ ndụ gị maka o nwere uche ịghọta nọ ife ọma ka imeri ya. Ọkwa ifuru obodo a, enwe ndị nwe obodo a hapụ ife niile a na-amacha, ụfọdụ ndị ofe mmanụ pụta a na-ekwu.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, great Biafrans and lovers of freedom. This is Radio Biafra HAUSA-SERVICE coming to you through the auspices of Radio Biafra London. My name remains Mazi Jonathan Chinedu from Olu province of Biafra land. Today is the 22nd day of July in the year of our Lord 2022. I welcome each and every one of you to welcome your friends and well-wishers onto this hallowed platform, because today we are going to discuss a very important issue with my co-hosts today. Please, you cannot afford to miss it. Therefore, invite your friends, even invite your enemies. Do not deny them this hallowed platform, listening to this hallowed platform, because this is where we preach enlightenment. Enlightenment is the key. That is the difference between you and between us black people and the Caucasians. Enlightenment is the difference. That is the reason why you are dying to get a visa to go travel to Canada. That is why, the reason why you want to travel to Spain, dying in the deserts. Do you know you start from the scratch? Enlightenment, that is the key. Therefore, it is a gift to humanity, to mankind, the highest gift. Otherwise, without enlightenment, you will remain like a lower animal. You know, I've been saying this, that we black people should not allow ourselves to remain stagnant until the other Homo sapiens leave us behind. This, you know, according to the theory of evolution, which I believe, because everything evolutes, every living organism evolutes, including human beings, including beings, animals in general. The same way human beings, Homo sapiens, known as Homo sapiens, left the primates, apes behind. Today they are still there, though many of them are walking, the apes, they are walking on two legs, yes, but they are not even able to cook their food today. Do you understand? They are happy enough to be looking for their food, you know, eating it raw, and they are happy. Only their stomach. That is why every time I warn us here, oh ye black people, that we should be careful not to be left behind by the Homo sapiens, people that are building spacecrafts, traveling to other planets. Let us be enlightened so that we start walking towards being into the mainstream humanity. That is what we preach here. Before I continue, please, I would love us to pray. and our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is in the enemy dungeon today, will lead us in a pre-recorded prayers. Let us pray.
As long as we come on air every evening, the whole world must listen. As long as we preach this very gospel, Chukwokika Abiyama must be with us. Therefore, without any further hesitation, we must proceed to offer every prayer to Chukwu Okike Abiyama, who resided in heaven. Therefore, as we always commence, not from today, but from of old, our Father who art in heaven, Nanyị nke bi n'eluigwe, ka aha gị dị nsọ, that your name may be hallowed by men, that we may bow at the mention of it, that we may offer every glory unto thee, that we may offer you every adoration and adulation, because there is none like thee. You fight our battles for us. Every blessed day you demonstrate through your kindness and your everlasting mercy that you are our Lord, our God, and our Creator. This evening we offer these your children unto thee all over this very planet that you created. They are listening across the entire 24 time zones on this very planet where they inhabit. They are listening to your gospel this very evening, this gospel of redemption, a gospel of hope, a gospel of restoration, a gospel of renewal, this very gospel of freedom, this very gospel of emancipation, as only you ordained, that this very gospel must be preached, that mankind may be set free from the eternal damnation of the creation of the British. My goodness me, I want to remain in the spirit, because we must worship heaven. We answer your name, O Lord of hosts. Everything about us is designed to offer glory unto thee. We have atoned for our sins last year. This very year we have not only atoned for our sins, we have spilled, we have shed blood, they have shed our blood. We have let our sacrifice be made unto thee. Even on the 30th of August, as we are being felled by the bullets of the enemy, by the workers of iniquity and of darkness, we remain very strong today to beckon upon thee, to ask you for your mercy and for your grace, to ensure that your kingdom is restored upon the face of the earth, that you can bring your healing hand to bear upon the life of those of them that you created for one singular purpose, and that purpose alone, which is to worship you in truth and in every honesty. Is there any way that we have erred? Is there any way that our ancestors may have sinned? We confess before a congregation of the whole of humanity to ask you, O Lord of hosts, to have mercy upon us. You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist. You opened your mouth, to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you.
Once again, I welcome each and every one of you to today's edition of Radio Biafra HAUSA-SERVICE, coming to you through Radio Biafra London. Before I go further, please, I would like to bring in my co-host today for them to make the initial introduction. Wanda, please, I start from you.
Good afternoon, all dear friends. Good afternoon, Mazi, Jonathan. Good afternoon, Mazi, Metu, Selangwane Mekizedek. My name is Marian Heder, and I'll be speaking from Maryland in United States. I welcome you all to this phenomenal program today and wish all of us a good listening ears. Thank you very much, and God bless.
There were Mazi.
Yes. I hope I'm coming out clear. Good evening, wonderful people of Biafra. And I think I have to commend our lovely brother, Mazi Jonathan. As many of you may know, my name is Mazi Obinna, popularly known as Melchizedek. I am saying a very wonderful good evening from the beautiful city of Vienna here in Austria. And I am hope we are going to enjoy today's edition. And I shall also welcome those that are watching. Depending on your time zone, I'm also saying good morning, good afternoon, and good evening as we stand by to listen to the word of Chukwukabiam. I stand by, brother.
There were Mazi and Wada. We are here today in order to preach the gospel of emancipation, the gospel of freedom, more so the gospel of enlightenment. Therefore, please draw nearer to your listening devices. Invite your friends and well-wishers, even your enemies. That person gonna correct, please. It doesn't matter. This time around, it's not the time of making enemies. Bring him, call the person and nearer and say, please come and listen to the gospel. Kucha, now if you people want to continue your private enmity, but do not deny anybody of this or listening to this hallowed platform. Our leader is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who is in the enemy dungeon. Make no mistake about it. He is passing a process. He must be released. That is where we stand, and rightfully so. Therefore, we must continue in what we are doing. The restoration of Biafra is in the hands of all of us, both you that is listening, because the difference between us and others is this. You know, other people, other Nigerians, they cry, they lament. They cry and cry like rats. They don't do nothing. They hand it over to God. According to them, the situation over to God. But we, the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he has trained us in order to lament, not only lamenting, but we do something, rise up and do something. That is how real human beings act. Because that brain, that thing inside the skull is not for fancy. It's not for fancy. As you know, the most intelligent human being in this world is making use of less than 10% of his brain capacity. Let me tell you. Do you understand what it means? The most intelligent human being in this planet Earth, according to science reports, is making use of less than 10% of his brain capacity. For you to understand that when you are not doing anything, when you are not using your brain, you are just wasted, you know. You are wasting yourself. Because everything we need is in the brain. The Creator put it in our brain, in that brain, that place, that thing, that billions and billions of cells. That is where it is. And as I said before, that is the reason why you are dying, sleeping in British Embassy, so that you don't miss the interview, so that they give you visa to go to London. These people are human beings like you and I. But the only thing is that they made use of their brains. That is the thing. We ourselves, we are disorganized, and that is why today we are going to treat this issue that has been bothering me, the cause of clannish behavior, that is clannism. I put it clannism in our land, the cause and remedy of clannish behavior in our land. Do you understand? I didn't say tribalism. Tribalism is normal. Let me tell you, this world is not only Africans are tribal. Human beings are tribal in nature. Let me tell you, whether you like it or not, that is the reality. That is the reality. We are tribal in nature. You cannot. That is why even among the developed world, they have nations. They are countries and nations. That is why you have a country as small as Iceland. You understand? Iceland is less than 500,000 in population. There are 365,000 in population. But they have their own country. They are their own country because they are tribal. It is tribe. Forget about the way it is being garnished in the modern world. Garnished as a nation. It's tribe. A French man will fight you if you force him that he is a German. He will disagree. He say, no, I'm a French person. That is it. It is tribe. So what I'm talking about today, what we shall discuss about today, is the cause of clannish behavior. That is clannism in our land, and the remedy. Because when we talk about the cause, we also talk about the remedy. Therefore, please stay tuned because Ngugwaga no need it yambo. That is the thing. Before we enter into the main business of the day, I want to read some news headlines. Some news headlines, please, before I enter into the main topic of the day. Okay, let me start here. There is one news I read. Appeal court jails Nigerian serving senator Nwa Oboshi 7 years, ordering winding up of his 2 companies over money laundering. I read this news and I read the body and I found out how much? 802 million naira. No, we are not supporting or siding evil or corrupt politicians or personnel, no. But we are making some points that is worth noting. And those points are, why is it that it's only one part? People from one part of the zoo called Nigeria, mostly the Igbos, are always, sentenced, jailed for corruption, for taking crumbs. It's a question that I have been asking, and I know that it is in the mouth of many people. People that are taking billions of naira and dollar. The Fulani people that are taking billions and millions of dollars and naira. No person touches them. They are untouchable. Do you see the country you call your own, where there is inequality, and inequality begets anarchy? Injustice begets anarchy. Do you understand? Every time, who did they jail in the UK? It's a Biafran, the past former governor. What is the name? What is the name of that governor? Governor of is it River State? Well, I don't know whether you remember. What is the name of that man that was jailed in the United Kingdom? I think he's still alive or is dead. Who?
The man? You mean that was jailed for what?
Yes, he was jailed for corruption. He served jail terms in the United Kingdom. He was a former governor, I think of River State. Mazi, you remember the name?
I remember his name.
I think it's supposed to be Alamesia, if I'm not mistaken. The one that
Alamesia.
That's like a woman. To come back here.
Yes, I think somebody will impose me now the name, please. Something that is in my mouth all the time. But we must continue. Nnamdi Kanu said,
James Ibori. Is it Ibori?
Ibori,
okay.
Yes, James Ibori, of course. Every time is the same thing, the same set of people, the same people from one region, and they are showing you something, that these are the corrupt people. That is what they are showcasing to the world. But the main people that are carrying the country, wholesale, stealing, looting everything. They don't care. They are untouchable. The Fulani Caliphate, they can only run feudal system. They are not, they cannot take in or run a modern government. That is why they know, in a feudal system, it is about the landlord and the squatters. That is the truth. All animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. All this shenanigans they call democracy in Nigeria, that is rubbish. It is a feudal system where some people are the landlords. They own the land. They own the land, and they want you to just come to print every time you are there squatting, begging. IPOB, we have made up our mind and say no, we cannot continue living this type of life. It's very shameful, where they will leave the main culprit, the big criminal, and they go searching for, people that take crumbs. Yes, all of them committed crime, but there are the kingpins. You see, during the time of El Chapo, Escobar, the American CIA, they have the foot soldiers of Escobar. They will catch you, with maybe 1 ton of cocaine. The American CIA, what they want is the main man, because they know that he's the source. But in Nigeria, it's not the same thing. The reverse is the case. They only look for people, helpless people that are looking for crumbs, and cut them, whereas leaving the main stump, the main root, taproot. But we must continue. This man is a Biafran, he's Igbo Biafran from so-called Delta states. Maybe you ask him, he said, "No, I'm a Deltan." What is your language? "No, I don't, I'm South. Today he is being sentenced to 7 years for, in Nigerian standard, stealing as little as 800 or laundering as little as 805 million naira. Chicken change for Rufai. It's a chicken change for him. But somebody is suffering for it. That's it. That's a country you call your country. We must continue. Yes, it's James Ibori. Yes, some people have inboxed me. It's James Ibori. Okay. Let me go on to another headline. I will rush it. You see, Kanu State Hizbah officials shave young man's hair for being un-Islamic. This is normally a secular country, a secular country. They see your hair, they shave your hair. You don't know which way Nigeria is, whether it is Islamic, or it is secular, or it is Hindu. You don't understand. Everything is confusion. That is why we clamor for the destruction of that zoo, honestly speaking. How can you say that you are in a secular country, just like carving a part of making Afghanistan to be maybe the 57th state of America? Is it possible? Is it possible? There will be clash of civilizations. That is it. But you are forced to live inside this place, not for your interest. Do you understand? It is for the interest of the Creator. That is one thing we should understand. Nigeria is not serving the interest of any one of us. Nigeria is serving the interest of the Creator. The creators of Nigeria, they have, or they had something in mind. That is why I used to blame Azikiwe. Well, now Wategatega, he will be the president of one empire he did not even rule. Instead of starting from grassroots, no way. We must continue hammering this. Now, if you go to Kanu, which is also, let's say, your country, part of your country, which you are a citizen to, you don't know what to do, they will cut your hand. In the same country, they destroy the alcoholic beverages in Kanu. Whereas the government, the state government of Kanu, they are benefiting from the VAT, value added tax, that is coming from that alcohol production in Lagos, in South. You understand? In Aba, in Onisha, anywhere in South. But you dare not come to Kanu to consume it or sell it. Do you see the confusion we call a country? Are you seeing it? We must go on. And okay, we see what went on, or what happened to many of our youths, officially 14 that were slaughtered for no reason in our mama. And this this Sarkin Fulani of Imo State came up to defend that these are bandits, that they are hoodlums. And I say, so they are hoodlums, you need to kill them extrajudicially. Do you see? I played during my preamble the testimony of the person that did the wedding, traditional wedding, his lamentations. When you watch that young man, he is in agony. I'm telling you honestly, that people that came in that ceremony, his friends were all massacred. He was begging, why is it not him that was killed? And all those his friends and brothers and sisters left alone. You see, that is the person, this guy will be living with this agony all the rest of his life. You see, the problem in Nigeria is, that is why most Nigerians are mad, one way or the other. People think that madness is only when you start removing your shirts. No, it's a mad place. People are suffering internally. The injustice committed against them, there is no person to complain to, no place to go. So they bear it inside their mind, inside their heart. It will be worrying them. It is killing them little by little through stress. That is a country you want us to remain? God forbid bad thing. There is this news. That is why I want to just bring the headline, please, before we go into what we want to discuss today. It says, Nigerian women team Super Falcons boycotts training over unpaid bonuses ahead of WAFCON 22 third place match. You understand? When you watch the women football, African women soccer competition going on in Morocco, watch Nigerian team. All are Southerners. Majority are Biafrans. More than 90% are Biafrans. You don't see any Fulani girl there. Just tell me this type of injustice. Tell me. But the people at the helms of affairs that are where money is being remitted to are the Fulani agents. Do you understand? Is it a country we continue being? We are not good. Okay, Biafrans are not good in any other thing. They will call us traders and you accept. To your shame. Oh, you people are traders. Do you see it? Now, these women, our girls, our women are the ones going to showcase their body, working hard. When the trophy comes, I think they have carried it, 9 times. 9 times. Now, the glory will go to the Fulani Caliphate. Do you see what here we pinpoint things that you see as if it's not, maybe it's mundane, but all these things are the injustice we are bringing out. Biafrans are very good at best any other country, but except Nigeria. You understand? Our women are the players. They cannot, during the football, they cannot bring out their Fulani women, girls and say, come and play. No. Because they say, oh no, it is against the... after all, have you seen Afghan women? Afghan girls, they don't even allow them to go to school. Do you see what we are suffering? That Nigeria is a very big load on us. Imagine that these people are playing for Biafra. Who we supposed to be? Imagine all of them, we are playing under Biafra. Both men and women. How beautiful it would have been. Nigeria is a very big load on us. Imagine that these people are playing for Biafra. Who we supposed to be? Imagine all of them, we are playing under Biafra. Both men and women. How beautiful it would have been. Who we supposed to be? Imagine all of them, we are playing under Biafra. Both men and women. How beautiful it would have been. It would have been. Carrying load. Do you understand? That you are forced to do what? To be at the back of that 911 lorry. The lorry might be traveling at the speed of 40 kilometers an hour, which is very good, you know, for maybe the lorry now is going on speed. But for you with your private car, in your private car, it's just like walking. You are following a car that is walking, marching. You understand? Because your car is meant to travel at least cruising speed 160 kilometers per hour. Whereas the lorry that is blocking you, that you are forced to follow, the maximum speed may be 60 kilometers an hour, and he is cruising at 30 kilometers. For the lorry, it is doing very great. Oh, going on 30 kilometers an hour is very great. But for you, you know, it is not, because it is not the same thing. So that is what Nigeria is for us. That is what we are suffering in Nigeria. Therefore, once we have restored our nation, Biafra, I'm telling you honestly, we will be on our normal speed. Because in Nigeria, they force us to go at the speed of the caliphate, which is very slow for us. Very, very, very slow for our liking, for who we are. I don't know, I'm trying to check whether, because my system is buffering. Let me check. I think my voice is coming out. Of course. So let us continue. Now, as I said before, we must go into the topic of the day. But I don't know whether Wada or Mazi, whether you have anything to say, to add, whether you have anything to add in the news headlines which I have read. Just the headlines. You want to add anything, please, you go on.
Not from me, Mazi.
Okay. Mazi Meto.
Just a quick one. Regarding the what I call them super female falcons, or whichever name they answer. If you can remember the last time they came in here. That was a scenario that happened. It was here in Vienna. The same women, you know, they came to also have their training here, and unfortunately, they find themselves in a public train. Normally, a team supposed to have a provision of boss or whatever to carry them along, because they came for a tournament, and I believe there must be a provision of a vehicle for movement. But because of that corrupt nature in them, they find themselves in a public train.
Because
that got themselves embarrassed. Yes, that got themselves embarrassed by a Biafran. No, now let me just put it in a way, because he has been one of us. And the same thing the guy was telling them, that many of you that are supporting this country, that are killing innocent souls, will also partake. Is every day the same scenario, and very unfortunate, like you said. A lot of them are from Biafra. I don't need to hasten to ask, because that is the reason why our people need to wake up. Our people need to wake up. If our people can wake up once and for all, and begin to channel their energy towards restoring a country where they can be proud of, I believe you me, Nigeria will split under some seconds, and that is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu decided to continue to hammer and wake us up, so that we will now realize the mess we are into. I think, like I said, this is what I have to, add up for now.
Thank you, Mazi. Okay, as I said, today in our discussion, the topic of our discussion is the cause of clannish behavior, that is clannism, in our land, and the remedy. I will start by defining what clannish behavior is. It is tending to exclude others outside the group. Clannish people are inclined to associate exclusively with the members of their own group. Do you understand? Let me tell you, there is a difference between clan and the tribe. to 12 states, 6 in the north, 3 in the east, and 3 in the west. Okay, why do I have to bring out this? For you to understand the beginning. Yes, we are regionalized regions according to the Nigeria setting originally, but from the region, because of, in order to destroy Biafra, listen, in 1967 Gowon turned the regions into states, and in order to make it look like it's not only one side, he created 6 states in the north and 6 states in the south. East Central State is a former administrative division of Nigeria. East Central State. It was created on 27th May 1967 from parts of the eastern region and existed until 3rd of February 1976, when it was divided into 2 states, Anambra and Imo. Do you understand? So before we were from the east, we went to East Central State. The first capital of East Central State, listen attentively, the first capital of East Central State was Calabar. Do you understand? For those of you that are, oh, we are South, oh, yeah, that Bunkum, it is Calabar, the first capital of East Central States. It was Calabar before it was later moved to Enugu, and the second capital was Umuahia. The region was officially divided in 1967 into 3 new states: the East Central States, River States, and Southeastern States. These people, they messed us up. If you study history on Magana Isuge, always, honestly, you know, we are suffering because of lack of knowledge. That is the thing. When you go deep into this East Central states, River State, Southeastern State, you see that they mix all of us. They know that we are the same. You understand? They mix all of us up because they are trying to find what they think to be the final solution to Igbos. They call it Igbo. That is the East, Biafrans. The same way Hitler wanted to find a lasting solution to the Jews, and a southeastern state of the place you call southeastern state today. Do you understand? The eastern region of Nigeria was geographically located in southeastern Nigeria. Okay. The eastern boundary lies between the border of Nigeria and Cameroon. Are you hearing? And the southern coast is along the Gulf of Guinea. Do you understand? Okay. In 1965, the region had a population of 12 million people, and some areas such as Owerri and those inhabited by the Anangs. Where are the Anangs? Where they call you today, South. Those are the southeast, where beside they call even the southeastern states. And those inhabited by the Anangs. Where are the Anangs? Where they call you today, South. Those are the southeast, where beside they call even the southeastern states. In Akwa Ibom, Abak, Esien, Udim, Etim Egbo, Eka, Ekote Ekbene, Obok Akara, Oruk Anam, Okanafium in Akwa Ibom State. All these, to mention but a few, these are the Owerri, and this place inhabited by Anans. We are one of the most densely populated places in Africa, in West Africa, as of that time. Do you understand? Now, in order to isolate the people they call the people that are always revolutionists. Let me put it like that. They started when they create this state, they create this region. After they say no, we never get. The people they call the people that are always revolutionists. Let me put it like that. They started when they create this state, they create this region. After they say no, we never get. and many of us were in the world before these states were created. But all of a sudden, you start identifying yourself with the state you know when it was born. It is absurd. Not only that, in our land today, you will see that somebody from Anambra, maybe from Oka or Agata, but he's living, he have lived all his lives in Aba, has his business, even has his houses in Aba. I'm giving an example. Now, and he merits, he is a person of honor and integrity. But when it comes to political position, maybe senator, senatorial position or election, or chairman of lawmanship, governorship, you see, if this person now goes to vie, then now our own people will remind him that so you have nothing to, you don't have anything, you don't have to come here to go back to Anambra. This thing I've been thinking about it, you have been giving me concern. That is why I brought it out today, so that we treat it. What is the cause? We treat the cause first before going to the remedy. But contrary to other people, you will see somebody from Oyo State. Yes, the Yoruba, they have their own challenges, but let me tell you, you see somebody from Oyo State, origin from Oyo, but he will become a governor in Lagos State. He will vie for governorship of Lagos State and win it. No person will tell him go back to Oyo where he come from. Are you talking about the North? And now someone from Sokoto, he can become a governor in Kanu. No person will tell him go back to your land in Sokoto. No, this is advancement on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of on their part, and we are still tied up in primitivity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of activity. Do you understand? Now, why I say we are still tied up in this type of primitive character? We know that we are one people. Only the creation of Imo State was created in 1976. But somebody that have been in Anambra before the war, established there, born children there, everything go, you take that is his land. But when vying for political office, they will remind him, now become my co-host. I want you people to come in to put mouth into this. Wada, I want you to confess, please. What is the problem? Why do we behave like this? Why? Please come in, Wada.
Mazi, very interesting topic indeed. Mazi, for me, I'm going to go really way back. I'm glad that in your opening remark, you were able to bring in that every society, every individual, we are all tribalistic by nature. That is an absolute truth. It's something we call is inherent, that is innate in us, which is what we are born with. Just like there's another age in Igbo dialect or Igbo language that says, Agochananna, Agawananne is the same thing. So, the argument or the question you're asking is, why is it that some groups have been able to or are working towards completely overcoming theirs and we are stuck? That's how I'm summarizing what you said. The thing is this, let's go back. Before the creation of this new, we are split into these new states. We were all one people, Eastern Nigeria. So that gave us collective identity. We saw ourselves as one. And that was why people were not kind of kicking against it. This tribalistic, clannish thing. We saw ourselves as one people. Now the war came. The so-called civil war has done so much damage to us. I'm going to start by this. During the war, people went through a lot of trauma. I'm not making excuses here. But one thing we keep forgetting is that we human beings, every trauma we go through are embedded in our muscles. The muscles of human beings have memory. The brain have memory. After the whole, and then during this war, it was survival of the fittest. And it made people to begin to think, get into the mode of trying to survive individually as a person, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, not now as a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, a society. Why am I invoking this? Because if we look back beyond the so-called civil war, if we're narrowing down to Igbo man, the Igbo man, to create states. People are looking for comfort zones. where you say this is my own because during the time of trauma, stress, I'm better off in my own cocoon. Now, what happened was the politicians came in and threw in the mix of all this, using this thing, this new thing we're having now, knowledge or mental knowledge or trauma we're going through, to perpetuate, to get over the masses, bringing this clannism. Oh, remember, this person is not your own, it's our own. So you must fight for me. You don't have to fight for that individual, because at the time of stress, that individual may not be for you or will not be for you. I'm going to be for you, even though they're not telling the truth. This is psychology they are using. So this is what has brought us this. It's not really the division of these states. I agree that it deepens the division. It deepens it. But it's not really that. It's because the so-called political elite found these two as an easy way to manipulate the rest of the society and have their ways. So I'm laying this foundation because I'm going to expand on them as we progress. But that's what I'm looking at, because since you mentioned this to me, I've been thinking about what could be the problem. That's the problem. And the stereotyping. Stereotyping, what do I mean? Oh, Anambra. Oh, Takandi Anambra neme. Just like that concept. Oh, onye mbise bata n'ụlọ gị, and you have agwo. Kill the onye mbise before agwo. When we begin to stereotype ourselves like this, they carry weight. We must understand that. That is why somebody like me, there was this lady that calls herself Mara. She sang a song about Imo State. I was really upset, because that's what she doesn't understand, the magnitude of what she was throwing out there. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even where you are of the same parents, have the same, that will have the same personality, throwing out there. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even where you are of the same parents, have the same, that will have the same personality, throwing out there. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even where you are of the same parents, have the same, that will have the same personality, throwing out there. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even where you are of the same parents, have the same, that will have the same personality. Stereotyping. Stereotyping is dangerous, because there is no particular society, even in a family, even where you are of the same parents, have the same, that will have the same personality. In our mind, because anybody that, when you begin to think that you know it all, you are limiting your ability to bring in more knowledge, learning more. So we must get out from that concept that we know it all. We have to allow ourselves the room to learn more, learn new things, so that we can move on, remove those that are not helping us and bring in those that are helping us. That's one of the problems we're having, because we are so closed up, holding on to that, all that we have, whether that we are benefiting from it or not. We want to hold tight onto them because we are close people. Because these children we are having here are more liberal than us, because of the society where they are. America is highly diversified society, whether anybody likes it or not. That's the truth. Highly, both in culture, in dialect, in languages, because America is one society that allows you to come in with your culture, your values. They don't, they don't infringe on it. But they have set up the society in a way that no matter what culture, your ideology you bring in here, what they call American values transcends all. That's the problem we have. what we should be having as Igbo or Biafran, Igbo value, let me look at, deal with us, within our clans, has not been able to transcend all. We're still going into our niches and cocoons, and that's what we think we are safe, and that's what we want to play. This is why somebody like me strongly believe in this project Biafra. I would continue to do all I can to support it, promote it, as I pass it on to my child. Because it's one thing that can galvanize us. We see ourselves as Biafrans, and it doesn't take away my niche or my clan. I'm still part of it, but what should be paramount, what should come first, should be the protection, the projection of Biafra. Until we as individuals begin to go beyond our own selfish interest. You said we're going to deal with the remedies. I'm going to leave the remedies for now. But that is what is creating that. You will see an Anambra person, Anambra are known for Onubu. I'm using small things like that. Instead of us to glorify it, it doesn't matter. The most important thing is that, what is the health benefit of eating Onubu? What is the health benefit of eating Ofo? I'm using little things. They might sound like small, but I have to use it. Embrace it, because we were all one. All these things caters to the people we are when it comes to our values. And stop playing into our niches, because this is what the politicians are using. Because look at what is happening in Olu today. Since this man, because he invoked his name, since this man they call Uzodimba became the governor, imposed on us. Think about it. All his actions, his crazy and wicked actions, have been targeted within his own people, the Olu zone. He knows what he's doing, Mazi. Because he will come out, and some people will come out and be playing the card, just like the guy that call him Mozambique. He said, it's my brother. Because it's your brother, even when they ask you to go and kill, you go and kill. Why am I invoking this? Because if this guy tries all this nonsense he's doing to go to a place like Owerri, Pure, or go to Mbise, or he will not, immediately there'll be more outcry, because they will see him as somebody else. So he knows what he's doing. So this clan thing plays a role, and not, he can cut both ways. So what I'm trying to bring out here, that Uzodimba is getting away with this because of this issue we're talking about. He's destroying his people, but then they are reluctant to truly call him out. And the other people are looking at, he's dealing with his people, he might as well deal with them. They forget that we are all one. We should rise against something that is negative and support all that is good, irrespective of where it's coming from. I'm going to yield for now as we'll continue to explore this discussion, Matt. Thank you.
What I understand in what you say, one of the main points is you talked about the post-war politics to disintegrate us the more. The after the war politics, because that war continued, but in a softer but very dangerous way, which they tried to make sure that they disintegrate us the more, playing this politics of clanism. Instead of removing it, instead of making sure that people became or continues being one people, now they made sure they put that sense of clanism. Na onye Owerri, na onye Olokowu, na onye Oka. Oka person will see maybe somebody from Aguata in a different way. Now this type of thing. So they increase the volume. That crack, they try to make it, turn it into a gully. That is one of the causes.
But Mazi, who are the people implementing it? I agree with it. Who are the people implementing? Because we're going to be honest to ourselves. Yes, they created the state. Because I listened to you. It wasn't only in former Eastern region they created states. Yes. They created states in the north. They created states in the middle belt. But these people have not allowed the creation of the state to be detrimental to their development. Rather, they are using it as an advancement, because it is we that are implementing this clanism. We are the ones. It's not outside force. Instead of using the creation of the state to better us, we have used it to turn against each other also because of dirty politics. Because people now are caring for their sole survival instead of the survival of their society or their community. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Mazi Meto, please come in here. What do you think is the main cause of this clannish behavior, which I called primitive behavior in our land today, exhibited by our people? Go on, please.
Yes, I have a lot, but I will try to curtail my my ideas on this issue. But before I continue, I just want to let you know, and those that are watching and at the same time listening, is these issues we are treating today is the reason why there is IPOB and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And is also the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in DSS custody. Because one will wonder, a man without gun, without missile, nothing. He was not. He's not a. He has never been a military officer before. Maybe it's okay. He's a specialist in shooting guns. So let us now adopt him. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why many of us are today, waking up and be speaking like this. So that is the reason why in his speech he always tells us Biafra restoration is more than a nation. Biafra restoration is our religion. And it's not, for me, it's not surprising what we are passing through, because the reason why we are having this kind of segregation, it is serving the purpose upon which it was created. It's the same thing with religion and who brought it in our land. Like Mazi, you list of you made mentions of states that were created, but you forgot to mention the people or the persons that created that state. Because if you come to in a land, you want to create a state, there must be a purpose inside you. You may decide to create one in your own community, but there's a reason. There's a reason why those states were created, and it is serving the purpose upon which they were created. Now, like in 1967, you made mention, Yakubu Gowon is the one in charge. He's not from my place. In 1976, Murtala Mohammed, responsible. In 1987, Ibrahim Babangida, responsible. In 1991 again, Ibrahim Babangida, responsible of those creation of state. In 1996, which is the last one, Sani Abacha. All of these people I made mention, they were involved in the genocide on our people. So how do you think they will come and create a state and want it to function or serve the purpose for them, for the betterment of our people? They call it politics of state creation, and they use it to deceive some of us by telling us the creation of states in Nigeria was anchored ostensibly on the need to extend governance. They tell people we are bringing governance closer to you people. So people, we are embracing those creations because one will wonder. Somebody, me and him in the same community before, they divided us. Now they say we are Ebonyi. This one is Abia State, or this one now is Imo State. We are no more part of Imo State, but we do things together. We do our traditional way of life together. We do so many things together. Then out of a sudden, we were not answering different states. So that's the reason why those states were created. But let me now go a little bit back from the main topic, like we were talking about clan. For me, clan is a good thing. In life, it depends on how you handle things that visited you. The clan, like I love how you just summarize it. It's a smaller unit of a tribe. A clan is a social organization unit that has the oldest structure, grouping people who share a common value system, common origin, and surname at the same time. If you go to Europe, they have their own. You will see a name. Somebody is answering Mark Anthony, maybe McCarthy. These are Mark on its own is short form of is a family name. Is a family name. When you come to Europe here, we have McCarthy. As a family was represented by clan Katiaki. So there's nothing bad in having a clan. If you watch now, you go to the importance of this clan. you can begin to see that it's also a way of solving problem in a society. Society is organized entirely around this clan, and it has been viewed as one of the big extended family. The members share a common distant ancestors and assist each other during difficult times. It has nothing to do with division among people. It's always a problem solver. Now, in the case of Biafra land, we were massacred during the genocide. We were also massacred after the genocide because they couldn't achieve their aim totally because the aim was to wipe us out completely. That is no single soul will remain. But along the line, they couldn't succeed in achieving that their aim, and they now come with the state creation. And as they're creating the state, it doesn't end there. They still go inside those states created, begin to change some words. Just like Umokoro, he become Rumokoro. You will see a able-bodied man will be shouting in front of you, Awike, I'm from Benin. And it is very sad and frustrating when you are looking upon a man, a full-fledged man, shouting in front of you, telling you, Awike, I am not Igbo. He's speaking the same language, the same everything you are speaking, no difference. The way behavior is the same, way of doing things is the same. Some of the times, our traditional masquerade is the same. Like if you go to Calabar, you have their masquerade called Okonko. When you come to Imo State, we have Okonko. All the instruments are the same. Maybe the tone may differ, or what they beat may differ, but everything are the same. When you begin bring them, stand them together in front of you, you can't differentiate unless we speak. Which variation in language is not a problem. It doesn't stop people from understanding themselves. That is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a big threat. But many people don't understand, and that is why I begin to see people when they say, "Give us action, give us action." I say these people don't even know the reason why there is IPOB. IPOB is there to wake people up from their state of ignorance. IPOB is not a military wing. IPOB is to restructure our brain so that we will now begin to reason. And let me just tell you, the worst thing that happened to a man is a life without reasoning. That's the worst thing you can do as a man. For example, if you have met somebody that is suffering from complete stroke, total stroke, you ask him, "Do you want to eat?" He said yes. "Do you want to go to toilet?" He said yes. Those things he doesn't need it to, but he continued reciprocating on everything you said. So he can't contribute towards the effective and the progress of life. So he is stagnant. So our people are stagnant, and this is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, continue speaking on the radio. Who doesn't understand him would think that you people have speak too much on this radio. Every time radio. They don't know what this man is crying. Every time he said the brain of a black people, the ability to reason is the problem. So how are you going to educate your brother? For instance, now we are talking about restoration of Biafra. In the middle of the day, somebody raised Idu. We are Idu. We are no more Biafra. We are now Idu. It's the same thing we are talking about segregation. Me and you have been pursuing about Biafra restoration. And we know the reason why we are pursuing this restoration of Biafra. It's not just because of the name. We want to be free. We want to govern ourselves. Somebody you think is educated, somebody that may be, attaching professor or doctor in his name, you have to give him some respect. He now turn in the middle of the night and tell you, my brother, that Biafra we have been fighting since. Is wrong. We are now Idu. So in my own case, illiteracy is a disease, and that is the reason why we are paying attention to those divisions. It's everywhere, like our sister said. It's in my place, even here. That's a race they call the gypsies here. I don't know. I think that's the English name. Tigorina is the German word. They came from
Romania.
India. They came from India. It's a clan in India. They were chased out and they ran away. Do you know they scattered everywhere in the world today? They were scattered everywhere. We were having a meeting somewhere when I was still in the school. And I saw them gathering together. They called themselves gypsies. Then there was one of them that the father is an Austrian. The father is an Austrian, but the mother is from those tribes. You know, when the lady came inside them, they told her, "You are not the real gypsy. You are mixed up." So it's everywhere. The purpose of our people trying to,
let me interject a bit. Like yes, it's everywhere, but in our own case, for example, I will give it a very simple example. Somebody from Imo State can never be governor of Anambra State. Somebody from Ebonyi can never vie for political office in Abia. Because it is our people now will now tell you, oh, now they will remind you where you come. It doesn't matter, you are the best, you have spent all your life in that place.
Exactly.
Now they remind you who you are, go back. You know that thing kills the spirit of a human being.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is what. Go on, please.
Yes, you are correct. You are correct. So the solution, or let us continue talking about the causes, is because we failed to understand who we are. The history, our history has been hidden from us. We don't know who we are. That is the problem. And it's not all about going to school, because we have a lot of graduates from Nigerian universities today. They study the history, and they always add it history and international relations, and they don't even know their own history, but they will be quick in studying the history of other African countries. So it's a systematic way of suppressing our people. Even in our school system, they don't allow us to even talk about the history of our own self. You can see that you cannot even talk about Biafra in the open as it stands today. You cannot even raise the flag, let alone talking about that in a public domain. So these are the disease that infected in our people. It's not like that in the north, like you said. It's not like that in the north. Like I told you, they created those things, but the purpose upon which they created this kind of little would I call it I would call it is a kind of segregating us with a purpose. In their own side, it was not like that. They still see themselves one. Like let me give you an example. In the last election they contested, you can believe with me that Atiku won that election. You can believe with me in that. But if I tell you they have gone back and said, nah, we are the same, no need of seeing two brothers in the court of law dragging about position. Let's just relax. Next time we will now support you. You will become. That's why you see Atiku coming out again, because he wants to reclaim that aspiration and promises the kingsmen promised them. So they understood themselves very well. So they are the ones that divided us. So forget about creating Kaduna, creating this one. They know the reason why they created those things, so that it will now look as if it's not only our people they are divided by giving them states. And not only that, after creating of those states, they now came again and now have what you call geopolitical zone. Tying these people together. This one is south-south, this one is the southeast. So those things are systematic. The only thing that I know that has been pinned us down is illiteracy, and that is the reason why Mazi Nnamdi is a threat. Let me confess. Do you know that since that day you talked about this with me, the thing has been pushing me. I need to elaborate this. I now begin to think. The religion is not also the only problem. This is also a major problem, and we are not seeing it. We make use of it, but we are not seeing it. But we not think as if we are doing ourselves own good. Like what you gave an instance in other states. It's not like that. It's also in Imo State. They will tell you Olu zone, Owere zone, and Olu man has rule. Let Owere man govern this time around. And as they are doing it, they are now beginning to bring development in their own place, forgetting that all of us are the same people. Before we were divided. I remember when Atiku was also governor of Imo State. You can see how he's bringing development in Olu zone. And the same thing now, people are crying about this Muslim ticket, Christian ticket. Had it been we are one, I tell you, those things will not come in by telling you we are Muslim, we are Christians. These are a way of running away from the realities of life that in Nigeria we are not one, but coming to our own land. Let me just summarize, and while I wait for the second segment, in summary, IPOB and the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the solution towards this divide and rule tactics. I call it. It's a divide and rule tactics. We abuse the aim of a tribe and at the same time a clan. It's not a bad thing to have a clan, but we abuse it based on the name given to it by those that wanted to divide us. I rest my case here and I wait for second segment. If you also have a question, you can ask me or clarification.
Yeah, Mazi, I have a question.
Okay,
I totally agree, Mazi Metu, with everything that have been said so far from each and every one of us, the question I'm asking, I would like to have an answer. I know you touched a little bit, you cannot do it. Who are these people implementing this clannish behavior in our own society? Because we all agree. Because when we just look at it this way, oh, they created this state to divide us even more. It's not the whole truth. Because these states were not only created in our own region, they were created in other regions in Nigeria. The argument I'm making, or the question I'm asking is, why is it that our own people are the ones that are using this state creation against us? Because I have listened to you, Mazi too. I know you're.
I have an answer. I have an answer to that.
No,
yes,
come in, my brother. Let me finish. Hold your thought. I know. I've listened to you, my brother. I know you're a science student. You're an engineer. So, but what I'm going to say, I know that if where we are, you and I are, even as an engineer, you must have taken psychology 101. So what I'm going to say is going to hinge on that, especially social psychology. The argument I'm making up here is that we cannot continue to exonerate ourselves even when we are the problem. Because there is something called conflict in life. When conflict happens, whether it's disaster, whether it's even a personal conflict, how you come out of that conflict depends on what you do, how you look at that conflict. If you see that conflict as a moment or a situation for you to emerge, to resolve that issue and emerge on the other side favorably, conflict becomes a good thing for you. But on the other hand, if you look at the same conflict, instead of trying to resolve that issue, solve that issue, and use it to build up for a better tomorrow, you sit down, you neglect it, you turn it inward, it becomes a negative thing against you. Why I'm using conflict as this is this. For example, when you have a natural disaster, maybe there was an earthquake, things happen, like even Japan, a couple of years ago, they had a tsunami that destroyed that place. I can guarantee you, if it's in a place like Nigeria, this thing happened, that place would have been deserted by now. Nobody will be talking about them. But if you go to that place, that tsunami happened, it's a brand new society with modern things, even better than it was. It was a conflict, but they turned it forward instead of inward. So my argument, because we have to pinpoint that we are the ones doing this to ourselves. Yes, the states were created. It doesn't matter the mindset of who created it. They want to divide us even more. Why are we allowing ourselves to be divided even more? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. I think I made mention of that.
After you, I will say something also. Go on. Okay.
Our sister, yes, I did a little bit of psychology. I think they also have different school of psychology, both studies of mental process and at the same time studies of the unconscious mind. Even also in philosophy, we have also school of thought. Those places are the place people go and bring their ideas.